And it is absolutely brilliant to be here and for the country to finally get a say on the future of Britain, because we need to turn the page. We've had 14 years of chaos and decline, excuses, and people just feeling like their area is not getting the support they need. Whatever service people try and access these days, they find it's like wading through treacle. You can't get a GP appointment. You can't get treatment when you need it on the NHS to get back into work. You can't get a home. Homelessness in this country has gone up significantly. And people are absolutely fed up. And they're crying out for change. And we are a changed Labour Party. We are here for the service of this country. And I am absolutely proud of the work that our leader, Keir Starmer, has done since he's been elected to show the public that politicians aren't all the same and there is a choice at this general election. And I'm incredibly proud to welcome and to give the mic over to our leader, Keir Starmer.
Thank you. Thank you for that amazing welcome. It's great to be here in Gillingham. Last time, under a Labour government, Gillingham was in the same league as Manchester City. So that's a good place to start. But look, at long last, the election has been called. The time has come and the wait is over. And that means, through the power of our democracy, the voters now get to choose. The power of the vote, the power each and every one of you has to change our country, our community, and your future for the better. So whether you're a family that's been battling the cost of living, dealing with antisocial behaviour, whether you're a business that's been struggling for years against the odds of the economy that's in chaos under this government, whether you've served your country in whatever way, this election is for you, because you now have the power, the chance to end the chaos, to turn the page and to rebuild Britain. And we've had 14 years of going round and round in circles, getting absolutely nowhere. Chaos and division, feeding chaos and division. And that has a cost, a human cost. In Milton Keynes, I met Will, who's a fireman. And he has a simple dream, not an unreasonable dream. He wants to own his own home. He's got 2 extra jobs on top of being a fireman, but he still can't afford it because the chaos and division of this government has robbed him of that dream. That is the price that he is paying. In Alderhay Hospital, which is a brilliant children's hospital up in Liverpool, I went to the heart transplant ward. It was incredible. But more children aged between 6 and 10 are admitted to Alderhay Hospital, this brilliant children's hospital, to have their teeth taken out because they are rotten than for any other operation. That is unforgivable. They're paying a very heavy price for this government. Now, when I was growing up, my dad was a toolmaker and worked in a factory. And my mum was a nurse. And they struggled. They struggled financially, and they struggled particularly with my mum's health. And sometimes we couldn't pay the bills. But they had a comfort, a belief, a confidence that the country would be better for their children, that things would be better for the next generation. And that kept them going. It comforted them, as it did so many other people. But can we still say that we got that confidence in the future of our country after 14 years of this chaos and decline? I don't think so. For a government to leave after 14 years, our country, with living standards worse than when they started, is absolutely unforgivable. And what is their plan, Rishi Sunak's plan? £46 billion of unfunded tax cuts. They haven't learnt a thing. And if they get 5 more years, they will carry on in the same way. Nothing will change. So a vote for Labour is a vote to stop the chaos. But here's the good news, because you don't have to put up with this. You do not have to put up with this. The power of the vote means that you can vote Labour to turn the page, to make the change that this country so desperately, desperately needs. Now, change is hard. I changed the public service when I was running it. We've changed the Labour Party to put it back in the service of working people. All we ask now, humbly, is the opportunity to change our country and put it back in the service of working people. And with that change, we can rebuild our country, take our country forward, so that in 5 years, 10 years, we can say, this is a better country. We've progressed for you, your family, for your community. We set out our missions for government, that driving sense of purpose that will take us through the difficulties, the difficult decisions, to improve our country for everybody, wherever they live and wherever they come from. And we've set out our first steps, starting with a stable economy. And we've set them out in our card that we launched last week. A stable economy, fiscal rules to ensure that we can keep inflation and prices and mortgages low. Tough rules, but for a reason. Because if you lose control of the economy, it's working people who pay the price. And Liz Truss lost control of the economy, and working people paid and are paying the price. I went to Wolverhampton a week after Liz Truss crashed the economy with that mini budget. And I met a family who had a child aged 3. And they planned to have a further child. They'd had their plan. They'd found a new home where they could have their family. They got a provisional mortgage offer that they could afford. Liz Truss crashed the economy. Their mortgage offer went through the roof, and they couldn't afford it. They had to cancel their home, stay where they were, and take a much more profound decision, which is not to have a second child. And they will live with that decision for the rest of their lives. That is the price that they are paying for the mess that this government has made of our economy. So stable economy is the first. An NHS back on its feet with 40,000 appointments and operations each and every week under a Labour government to get that waiting list down. There isn't anybody watching or listening to this who isn't themselves on a waiting list or doesn't know someone who's on a waiting list. We set out our first step to take back control of our borders with a border security command that can smash the gangs that are running the vile trade of putting people in small boats across the Channel. And we will go on also to establish Great British Energy, owned by the taxpayer, making money for the taxpayer and keeping your bills low. We'll deal with antisocial behaviour, which blights the lives of so many people in their high streets and their communities. And don't tell me it's some sort of low-level crime. It is not. It affects people absolutely materially. And we will recruit 6,500 new teachers for our schools so that every child has the education that they need and they deserve. I was the first in my family and my generation to go to university. I know the power of knowledge. But in my constituency, there's Somerstown. And we have children in Somerstown, a very deprived area, who look out at the back of King's Cross and see corporations moving in there, Google, The Guardian. They look out, but they cannot imagine themselves ever making that journey from their school to those jobs. It's a few hundred yards. I want every child, wherever they come from, whatever their background, to have and realise and think that success is for them. And we will fight for that every single day under a Labour government to make sure that this country is fit for the future of our children. So this election is about a choice. Two different countries, two different futures. Decline and chaos continuing under Tories, or rebuilding our country under Labour. The power of the vote is with you. If you want change, you have to vote for it. And if you vote Labour, it's a vote to stop the chaos. It's a vote to turn the page. And it's a vote to rebuild our country together. Thank you very much. Thank you.